The Gentleman of the Jungle is a short story written by Kenyan author and politician Jomo Kenyatta. It's a clever and entertaining metaphor about two groups of animals, elephants and baboons. This story is a satirical commentary on colonialism, a historical period where powerful nations took over and controlled less powerful ones. The first president of Kenya, as well as a Kenyan politician, Jomo Kenyatta, is the author of the short story The Gentleman of the Jungle. The Kikuyu people's perception of European laws and commissions in Kenya is portrayed in this narrative. African countries were divided by European forces in the late 19th century. In the opening scene of this narrative, a gesture of kindness is misunderstood as weakness. Once upon a time, a man and an elephant became friends. A severe thunderstorm forced the elephant and his friend to seek safety. Since there was only room for him and the elephant's trunk inside his home, the nice guy offered to let the animal do so. But the cunning elephant stuck his head in and pushed the man out. The man started complaining and arguing with his friend. The lion roared in distress and demanded to know what had disturbed it. The elephant answered that he and a friend had been talking about who should own the little house. The lion wanted calm and peace in his territory. He then instructed his ministers to call a commission of inquiry and give a report as a result. The king of the jungle's praises made the man feel good. The following individuals were chosen: Mr. Rhinoceros, Mr. Buffalo, Mr. Alligator, the Right Honorable Mr. Fox as chairman, and Mr. Leopard as secretary to the commission. But the man's side was not represented. He was told when he objected that nobody on his team was educated enough to understand the complexities of jungle law. He was also certain that he didn't need to worry because God had appointed the members of the commission and given them teeth and claws. They would therefore carry out a careful inquiry. The commission met to hear witnesses' statements. Mr. Elephant explained his actions by asserting that he had always saw it as his duty to defend the interests of his friends, which led to the misunderstanding. He claimed that a friend had asked him to help him save a friend's hut from a hurricane. The elephant said he thought it was important to sit in the underdeveloped space as a new use for it. The jungle's elders agreed with Mr. Elephant's statement. The man then started to describe what had happened. The committee interrupted him and asked if anyone else had previously lived in the unfinished portion of his hut before Mr. Elephant was appointed. The man seemed confused. The commission then made a decision. It wasn't done in a man's typical style. They came to the conclusion that human ignorance led to misunderstandings that led to the conflict. They supported Mr. Elephant's conduct by claiming that he had fulfilled his sacred duty of protecting human interests. They felt that the area ought to have been used as effectively as possible. They created a deal that suited both parties because man had not yet evolved to the point of expansion. Mr. Elephant was therefore allowed to stay in his hut, and the man was instructed to look for a suitable place to build a new home. Being afraid of the commission's sharp teeth and claws, the man followed the advice. But they were in for the same outcome. Mr. Rhinoceros was moved to a separate hut, and the same conclusion was reached by a royal commission. This process was carried out repeatedly until every hut was replaced. The man had settled on a strategy by this time. He built a bigger and better home as the forest lord's old ones started to fall apart. Animals rushed to the area they discovered as soon as they spotted it and settled there. They immediately started arguing over who had the right to enter. While the animals were still inside the cottage, the man took advantage of the situation and started a fire. He was relieved to learn that although peace is expensive, it is rewarding.